Sun Tzu's Art of War is a book which was summarized to wish for peace and to win any wars by Mr. Sonbu about BC 500. The purpose of his making of this book was to prevent Gramson's Sonbu village from being hit by war. To attain this purpose, he actually visited a lot of battlefields and arranged the methods to absolutely win. Eventually, he was hired by the great king of Wu and used this theory to prove the theory. As he used this book, it was 100 wins 100 wins, so now the warriors of this method have been used around the world as a strategy building book. Requirements for prospers of the country which Mr. Sonbu learned. I would like to introduce some points which were learned on China War Histories by Mr. Sonbu. Yin kept prosperous for over 2900 years in his 29s by using King Tu's thinking. But final king the last king lost nation as a result of activities ignoring these rules. The greatest problems were because of drowning in women and desire. Requirements for prospers of the country which Mr. Takobo learned. At BC 11 Mr. Takobo was a famous scholar as a military supervisor, but until the age of 70 there was no employment. The king of Zhou happened to meet, called and started work. He did many great jobs at this nation. The thought that Mr. Takobo governs the country was the 3 points. And king of the Zhou executed the idea of Mr. Takobo, received the trust of the people, the country flourished. At the same time, the king used Mr. Takobo's military reinforcement law. But many kingdoms not observing this principle were fated in a short time. Mr. Takobo made a book. The name is Mr. Rikudo. Mr. Sonbu read this book numerous times and modeled it. Sun Tzu's Art of War is a strategy and tactics book created in hopes of peace without war. At the time of making this book, Mr. Sonbu made numerous investigations by visiting not only citizens' books but also the site. As a result, if a country should need to do a war, he created a theoretical system in which the country realized 100 wins to 100 wars. Please look at this figure. Key points of this book is showed on it. First, war is one of tools of politics. If war is to be done, it is done for the happiness and peace of the people. The king should use the best tactics on the premise of victory. Second, in order to win the war it is necessary to have a theoretical system based on an analysis of examples rather than a theory by imagination. Third, you can make a strongest troops with women by using Sun Tzu's Art of War. And this theory was executed and realized. I will show you some examples of requirements stated in Sun Tzu's Art of War. There are items such as the following in the war rule of it. These are rules of Sun Tzu's Art of War. For example, win before fighting, soldier want the speedy success result. How to move the army, there are many rules like these in Sun Tzu's Art of War. Reflections of Mr. Sonbu who gained a large number of victories in Nation Go. About 6 years after leaving the Nation Go, he returned to his Sonbu village and reviewed the victory of wars. There were 3 problems to use Sun Tzu's Art of War. These are the upper column of this figure. In the same period, Mr. Confucius was pursuing research to piece the country with Chinese thoughts similar to Sonbu. When Mr. Sonbu met the idea of Mr. Confucius, he reaffirmed the importance of winning method without fighting. Today, in industry, this idea is co-creation to lead the world to happiness from intercompany competition.